Hello everybody, my name is Sarah. Welcome to Kids Following Jesus. Now we're going to play a little game. So here next to me I have a small tub of water. And we're going to play a little game. So I'm going to show you an object like this highlighter. Do you think it will sink or float? Well, let's find out. So if you said float, there it is, floating on the top. All right, now this is like a little Lego dog. He's kind of small, so what do you think? Sink or float? Let's find out. Oh, there he is on the bottom. All right, let's try, how about a paper clip? What do you think? It's a sinker. All right, how about, it's a piece of aluminum foil. It's a floater. All right, I have an identical piece of aluminum foil that is now in a ball. What do you think? Sink or float? Don't you know, it floats. So do you think that you're a sinker or a floater? Now don't worry, I'm not gonna come track you down and throw you in water to find out. But I think what we can do is we can look in our Bibles and find out. Do any of you remember the story of the feeding of the 5,000? Well, after that happened, Jesus sent his disciples back out to the boats and told them to go on out into the water while he went up into the mountains to pray. And after that time, we're going to read a little passage in the Bible to find out what happens when Jesus comes back and is going out to his disciples who are in the boat. So we are going to turn in our Bibles to Matthew chapter 14 and read verses 25 through 31. So we'll take a look. And here's what it says. Early in the morning, Jesus went out to the disciples. He walked on the lake. They saw him walking on the lake and were terrified. "It's a ghost," they said, and they cried out in fear. Right away, Jesus called out to them, "Be brave. It is I. Don't be afraid." "Lord, is it you?" Peter asked. "If it is, tell me to come to you on the water." "Come," Jesus said. So Peter got out of the boat. He walked on the water toward Jesus. But when Peter saw the wind, he was afraid. He began to sink. He cried out, "Lord, save me!" Right away, Jesus reached out his hand and caught him. "Your faith is so small," he said. "Why did you doubt me?" So did you notice in this story that as long as Peter kept his focus on Jesus, he was floating. He was also walking on top of the water. But once he got distracted away from Jesus by all the other things in the world, the wind and the waves, the stormy sea, he began to sink. Now, in our lives, we will go through stormy waters. There will be rough times in our life, just like in the story how the sea is rough. But as long as we are keeping our focus on Jesus, he will be there to help us through, and we will be okay. But if during those times we take our focus off of Jesus and we rely on our own abilities to get us through the storm, then we will feel ourselves begin to sink. All right, let's all take some time to pray together. Dear God, when storms of life come, help us stay focused on you and to trust you to float us through them. Amen. Thank you for joining me, and I'll be back next week with more Kids Following Jesus.